The biggest lie young people are told when they're 18, 19 and 20 is money doesn't grow on trees. This process starts in school when we're taught to follow the traditional path of getting a job and a mortgage, which leads to working every hour of the day just to earn enough money to retire at 67 and finally die. Let's be real for a second. Do you think that's how I make $67,257 per week? There is clearly something else going on. And no, I'm not talking about getting a high paid job or starting a side hustle. To achieve this, you need a way of making money that doesn't rely on you working day in, day out. It's called passive income. And here are 7 ideas I strongly suggest you consider, along with my ratings of each. Idea 1. Invest in stocks. There's a bit more to this than just invest in the stock market and you'll make passive income. I mean, I can see why people might think this, because let's say you buy a share in a company and it goes up in value. Technically, you've generated some money without doing anything. But in order to actually get your cash out, you have to sell your stock. Some would consider this passive income, but instead, I just think of it as a bonus and not something to rely on. I consider passive income as nothing less than actual money flowing into your bank account every month without the need to sell the asset that's making you the money. That's why the only form of stock market investing I consider to be real passive income is dividend stocks. These are chunks of companies you can buy. Think Starbucks, Pepsi and McDonald's, and in return for owning them, you get a share of the profits paid directly into your pocket, as well as benefiting from the stock going up in value as a bit of a bonus. They're one of the easiest ways to make money on a consistent basis with absolutely no work. Well, that's as long as you pick the right ones to invest in. I strongly suggest you listen to this next part carefully so you avoid making any crucial mistakes. To help you sort the good from the bad, dividend stocks are ranked in a kind of social hierarchy. At the top you have dividend kings. These are stocks that have not only paid a dividend but actually increased it for 50 years in a row. Under that you have the dividend aristocrats. These are the stocks that have increased their dividends for 25 years. That's where the official definition stops. But I like to think of the stocks under this as dividend working class. Sure, some of them will eventually become aristocrats and kings. However, it's very hard to tell which ones will make it. I'd be very cautious with these, as a lot of people get drawn in by companies offering extremely high dividends. I can understand why, but remember, as much as it's about the amount of money you're being paid, it's also essential that it's sustainable long term. So you can easily compare these 7 ideas. I'm going to rate them in 3 different categories. Firstly, how much time does dividend investing take? I'll rate this a 1 out of 5, as all you have to do is download an investing app, deposit some money and buy a few dividend stocks. Look, this isn't financial advice, but some apps I'd recommend are Moomoo for the USA and Lightyear for the UK and Europe. Apps like these often give out free stocks for joining, so if I find any, then I'll pop them down in the description below. Secondly, how much money do you need? I'll give this a 5 out of 5. As it's so quick to do, the trade-off is that you need a lot of money invested to make a significant income. Thirdly, how easy is it to make $100 per week? This also gets a 5 out of 5. Let's do the maths. As dividends are calculated on a yearly basis and are paid out at the end of each quarter, let's first work out how much money you need per year, which is pretty simple. There are 52 weeks in a year, so let's multiply that by 100, which gives us $5,200. Now let's say we invest in one of my favourite companies, Starbucks, who currently pay an annual dividend of 2.4%. In order to make $5,200 per year or $100 per week, you would need to invest a grand total of, wait for it, $216,666. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great for people that already have money, but what if I'm just starting out? In that case, it's a much better idea to use your time instead of your money to make passive income, which is what the next idea is all about.